What is going on, guys? It's your boy LOZA. Today we got my Dark Magician deck profile from the Extravaganza I went to on the weekend. It was a pretty sick time. I enjoyed myself thoroughly. I didn't do too well. I placed 4-3. So didn't go too great, but nevertheless, let's go through the deck profile. Hey guys, just butting in to show you the top 30 from the event I played in. There was about 90 people in this event. Here's the top 32, and you can see me there in 28th, struggling to compete with Dark Magicians. Hopefully I do better next time, but I think you can really see what this meta is shaping up to be. There's a lot of these decks, plus Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. If you take anything from this video, it's Lancia beats a lot of these decks currently. So please side deck Lancia at 3. Starting off with the beautiful bricks of the deck, and of course we've started with 2 Dark Magician. Now, I've honestly considered dropping this to 1 numerous times. I know a lot of people in the comments will probably hate me for that, but that's just how it is, man. The deck is getting to a point where I'm bricking on cards like Red-Eyes and Dark Magician a bit too often. And it does suck. It does suck. And yes, we're still playing the one Red-Eyes. He's going to get played till Red-Eyes Fusion is gone, unfortunately. Just deal with that. I opted to play Mana instead of Dark Magician Girl once again, and it did me justice. This card summons itself so many times for free, while Dark Magician Girl just sits in the graveyard or the hand and does nothing. So I definitely think Mana is the best brick to play of the 4. Obviously, we have to play Dark Magician, but out of the other 3, Mana's probably the second best one. She at least has an effect, and while it doesn't always go off, it can help you get into Anaconda when it does go off, or it just helps you make lethal for game. It did help me a couple of times to swing for game. Magician's Rod. I don't really have to say anything about this card, other than it plus Upstart is Dragoon, or Anaconda Dragoon, so definitely play Upstart, but also, yeah, play Rod at 3. Rod good. Magician's Souls. We're going to be playing this bad boy at 3. There is a reprint of Magician's Souls coming, so if you don't have your playset of Magician's Souls, don't worry, they're going to get cheaper. Some people have been saying they're not, but trust me, they will. The secret rare will make these ones a little bit cheaper, do not worry. Next, we've got the Dogmatika monsters. Now, these cards are never bricks, let me point out. There's a couple of occasions where you cannot summon Fleur, but 99% of the time, there's an extra deck monster on the field in current Yu-Gi-Oh!, and you can summon her for free. So some of the times, I'll just open up Fleur and Rod, and that's absolutely fine, because Fleur and Rod will make me Anaconda. Rod just becomes Artemis from the extra deck, and easy. She's an extender, and obviously if you have Ecclesia out, Fleur can also negate our monster effect on the field. Ecclesia is the main card you're going to search off Nadir's Servant, and don't forget this card can be an extender too. All that this card needs to summon, once again, same as Fleur, is an extra deck monster on the field. So opening Ecclesia and Rod will get you to Anaconda once again. All you have to do is link Rod into Artemis once again. Artemis, you're going to hear that name a lot. Play the card, it's very good. Even if you play normal Dark Magician, Artemis is still amazing. Alright, we're going to move on to the hand traps. I wasn't playing too many. I opted for Nibiru because it's just a big blowout card. It did win me a couple of games, and I think it's really nice to play a blowout hand trap in Dark Magician just because, like, our deck doesn't do a lot on its own. So we really do need, the cards that we're playing that aren't searchable need to be really strong. Speaking of strong cards, Effect Veiler, it's not very strong. Effect Veiler is good though, because the current meta, there's just so many things you want to negate. Against Sword Soul, you want to negate their stuff. Against Flunder, if you negate their Robin, you're having a great time. So I opted to play the Effect Veiler as my second hand trap. This was a little bit of a mistake. Not saying Effect Veil is bad, but I should have played Imperm instead, because the new Tri-Brigade deck that runs all the new birds, or the other birds, the other bird deck, if you Effect Veiler them when they've normal summoned their Tri-Brigade after making their Utopic Draco XYZ monster negate, obviously the XYZ they make is a monster negate, so it can negate Veiler, but they can't negate Imperm. So you just flop out the Imperm then and you are all good. Let's move on to the spell lineup. Now you can see I've got my 1 Dark Magical Circle, only 1, and I will continue to play 1 until the end of time. That's not true. When we get Illusion of Chaos, I am considering bumping this up to 2. It is a little bit nicer to see. And look, I don't mind playing this card at 2, but I was trying to play more hand traps and just more tech cards, so whenever I need to cut cards, I cut a soul and I cut a circle. Because if you need them, you search them. If you need them back, you stack them off Eternal Soul. Salvation's another card we're going to be playing at 1. It's pretty much another copy of Eternal Soul, but with the benefit of your opponent always wants to read it. It's really funny because once this sets Eternal Soul, it doesn't do anything else in this build because we don't play DMG, we play Mana. So it's really funny when all my opponents want to read this card. I'm just like, yep, it doesn't do anything, but it's still funny. So yeah, you send it off Magician Souls to draw, and when we get the new Timaeus monster, you can send this to summon Timaeus, though I don't really like Timaeus too much. It's a bit of a yikes card. Anyway, getting on to Soul Servant, this is the best spell in the deck. It is Pot of Greed half the time when it's in our graveyard. It's the reason we want to play Dark Magician Girl, Mahad, or Mana, because it does enable us to draw 2 cards. That draw 2 saved me many times. You can send it off your Magician Souls to draw as well, and it's not bad at all. There's so many reasons to play it, so yeah, please play this card at 3. Red-Eyes Fusion, another card I think you have to play at 3 if you're playing Dark Magician. It summons our boss monster. I don't know, like, what else to say. Everyone's like, oh, if you get ashed, like, boohoo. And it's like, exactly, if you get ashed, boohoo. Like, you get ashed on Rod, boohoo. You get ashed on anything. You get ashed on Nadir in this deck, boohoo. If your opponent has Ash, they have Ash. If they don't, great. You have Dragoon, and you did it in 1 card. That's the craziest thing. You did it in 1 card. Playing second, this baits and negate all the time. It baits and negate, or you get a Dragoon and you win. Like, it's that good. Like, you need to play this card at 3, bro. This card is insane. It is the best fusion spell we can play. It's way better than Secrets. It's way better than Eye of Timaeus. It's way better than Timaeus the monster. Like, it's the best fusion card we can play. Please just play it. The other fusion card I've opted to play is Magicalized Fusion. The reason being, it can summon a second Dragoon if you've already used your Red-Eyes Fusion. But the second reason is, if you open Magician Souls with your Magicalized Fusion, you summon Dark Magician off the Souls, and you link Dark Magician into Imdark from the extra deck, and then you can play down this and make a Dragoon. So if you happen to open Rod, you can normal summon your Rod, and link away that Imdark and Rod for Anaconda, play Magicalize, make a Dragoon using the Imdark and Dark Magician engrave, and then use your Anaconda effect, get a second Dragoon. And you've done that off 3 cards, so that's really nice. Really nice opening for double Dragoon. So yeah, please play Magicalize. I really rate it. I really rate it. It's better than Secrets. It's better than the Timaeus monster, so please play it. 3, Nadir Servant. Nadir Servant is a card that probably shouldn't exist. It makes you go plus, like crazy. Nadir can add you Ecclesia, which can add you Punishment, and then Ash Dragon effect in the graveyard at the end phase to grab a Fleur-de-Lis. Or you can send Cyframe Omega, which I'm playing, and shuffle back your opponent's Phoenix Enforcer, which is what I did a lot of yesterday. It's very good. So shoutouts to Josh Glenn for the Omega. Well, he didn't give me an Omega, but he told me to play it, and I was like, yo, you are so right. Shuffling back the pieces for Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer, or just shuffling back the Phoenix Enforcer itself, super good, and it means you don't have to deal with it anymore. So yeah, I really liked Nadir Servant. Going second, it's crazy because you can just send the Tis, pop a card, and then get your Dogmatika engine going. Just super good for baiting negates too. And baiting Ash so you can play Ref for free. It's pretty nutty. Here's one of the best engines we've been playing lately. For those of you who know, you'll know. The Striker engine is very nuts. Engage is able to search you drones, which is a 1-card Anaconda, but it can also search you the Eagle Booster if you already have an extender. So genuinely, most of the time, if you open drones, you just open drones and you just do the drones combo. If you open Engage, however, you can go Engage, grab drones, Kagari. Then Kagari can either add back Engage if you want Eagle Booster, or just add back drones if you want to just keep going. But normally, if you have like another extender in hand, or if you haven't normal, like you got Magician's Rod or Souls, you go for Engage again, and you engage into Eagle Booster so you can protect your Anaconda. It's like another copy of Called by the Grave, but it's a little searchable off this little engine. So I really like the Sky Striker engine, and I do recommend if you're playing Dark Magician in the current format, give it a try. It's pretty cute. And sometimes you have 3 spells engraved, and you're gonna have 3 spells engraved sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And Upstart does help with that. The other thing I mentioned earlier that Matt pointed out ages ago, he's a great Dark Magician player. You should go check out his channel. Upstart will make Rod into an Anaconda for you, which is absolutely crazy. If you're unsure how, I'll probably make a video on it at some point, but Matt does have some videos on it too, so check out his stuff. But overall, like upstart's never bad, right? You're always just going to draw a card, so it's always fine, and it's a little bit of fuel for your engage to help get you that extra draw. And not to mention, like Soul Servant and Circle, they stack. We stack the deck a bit in this deck, so drawing one is normally good. Sometimes you see a good card off Circle, like you could see Lancia off Circle, right? Your side deck card, and you can go, wow, I'm versing like Flunder. I need that Lancia upstart into it. Great. Who's going to Ash upstart? Probably no one. So it's really good. Yeah, play upstart, please. Call by the Grave. We're playing Red-Eyes Fusion, so there's pretty much no reason to not play Call by the Grave, plus it just dodges hand traps for any reason. The tech of the day that won me every match against Sky Striker, which was only 2 matches, but still, it makes Sky Striker such a free matchup, so please play this. Side it or main it, it's up to you. The reason I played 1, some people are like, why the fuck are you playing 1? Well, that's because of this next card. I'm also playing Imperial Order at 1 in the main. Not much to say, like these cards are pretty much the same card, just Village requires you to have a spellcaster while Imperial Order didn't, so I went for the 1. I went for 1 of each, and you know what, it was fine. I saw them when I needed them, it was just really lucky to be honest. But yeah, you could probably play more Village, but I wanted to stick to 40 cards. 1 Eternal Soul, I've been playing 1 for a while. We've got the 1 Magician Salvation, which sets it for us. If you do open up both, it's a little bit grim, but it is what it is. We've got Dogmatika Punishment and Skill Drain as our last remaining traps. Skill Drain just wins you games in a simplified format, and Punishment is just super, super good because you can search it through the Dogmatika stuff. It just gives you some interaction on your opponent's turn. Like one game I had Dogmatika Punishment set, I had Eternal Soul Circle, I had Dragoon. I thought I was going to win that game. I had 3 interruptions and I still lost. But anyway. Alright, it shouldn't be too much of a surprise that we're playing double Dragoon in this deck. We can summon it a couple of ways, mainly through Red-Eyes Fusion, and then Magical Eyes has 2 ways to summon it as well. So yeah, feel free to always play 2 of this card. You could get away with 1, but I feel like 2 is always correct. Another card you can get away with at 1, but I do recommend 2, is Verte Anaconda. Some people just think you aren't playing a second one, so they don't really worry about monsters on board. And some people just don't think you're playing a second target to summon Dragoon, so they leave your first Anaconda on the field, thinking you don't have Magical Eyes or anything else. So a couple of times Anaconda's been left on my field after turn 1 and they've outed Dragoon but didn't out Anaconda, and I've just used the effect again. It's been absolutely great. So I love both these cards at 2, I wouldn't change them. Best link one we are currently playing is definitely Artemis. It doesn't even have an effect, that's how good it is. It synergizes so well with Magician's Rod and the Dogmatika engine that it's just crazy. Even if you're playing vanilla Dark Magician, pure Dark Magician, you need to play 1 Artemis. It is absolutely crazy. It helps recycle your Rod, and it doesn't even have an effect. That's why I really want a Dark Magician Link 1 that can replace Artemis, because then it would actually have an effect that, you know, matters, and we'd also recycle Rod with it. Here we have Imduck, and we play him for a couple of reasons. One is because he can be used with Dark Magician and Magical Eyes to make a Dragoon, and another reason is he's just a generic monster that you can link away your Dark Magician for to keep spamming the Eternal Soul circle lock, if you want to call it that. And another friend of his that does the same thing is Link Spider. The reason you play the 2 of them and not like 2 of 1 is because your opponent's going to pass turn to you and you have Eternal Soul, so you're going to flip it in the end phase. You're going to say no effect, just flipping the card. They're going to say alright. You're going to say on res, activate the effect of Eternal Soul. They're going to be like, alright. Even if they Ghost Bell you now, Eternal Soul will not blow up. It will not leave the field. If you flipped it up and used the effect and they Ghost Belled you, you would lose the Eternal Soul and it would wipe your field. So, not very ideal. This way, if we get Ghost Belled, it just gets negated, but it stays on the field, so that's cool. Anyway, we're going to summon Dark Magician. The turn will pass. We'll draw a card for turn. We're going to link away the Dark Magician for Link Spider instead of Imduck. Then we can Eternal Soul the Dark Magician back, and we can link it away for the Imduck now. Because Link Spider has an arrow pointing down, now we have that extra zone for Imduck. And now we can link these into our Anaconda and then make our Dragoon. So Eternal Soul with the Dark Magician in grave or hand can make you Dragoon. It takes a little while, but it can get there, and these cards help you get there. So that's why we play these cards, basically. Alright, moving on, I played the 1 Relinquish Anima, and this is a bit of a weird one, but the reason I played it is because we're playing Magician's Souls for 1, and 2, we're main decking Nadir, and sometimes outing that token is actually very hard for this deck. The only ways are normally Dragoon pops or circle targeting to banish, and that doesn't happen all the time. So With Nibiru and Magician Souls in your hand, not only can you make Anaconda with those two cards, but first, you can link your Magician Souls into the Anima and just make sure you get rid of that token in case they negate your Anaconda, or in case you don't have a way to get rid of it. Because normally the token will have a bit of attack and defense, and we just cannot beat that in this deck. Like, sometimes it's just really hard to beat over. So Anima helps with that, but not too mention, it's also a spellcaster. Now, why that's important is, well, if we were playing Quintet, that could be cool. But the main thing here is, so as I said, you'd have Magician Souls. Magician Souls is 90% of the time going to send your mana, unless you have Circle and Eternal Soul in hand already. So mana will be in your grave. And if you activate the Relinquish Anima effect to grab the token, that you're always going to summon the Nibiru token in the extra monster zone. If your opponent imperms or veilers or targets this to negate it in any way, like through Chalice or something, great. You're going to activate Mana in the grave, and she is going to summon herself. So while they've negated your Relinquish Anima, you now have two more cards to go into Anaconda. You have the Nibiru, the Anima, and the Mana. So I really like Relinquish Anima. It synergizes really well with some of our cards, and it's a spellcaster. So at the end of the day, like, it's a cool card. We've got this bad boy. This card was a real MVP today, and I would say if you're playing the Dogmatika package, definitely play this card. I know a lot of people do anyway, but like right now, it's super good for shuffling back Phoenix Enforcer. I rate it. It saved me a lot of times today, so big props to the Omega. The Ash Dragon. Now, this is another common staple of the Dogmatika engine. It just helps you get your Dogmatika engine going, either off Punishment or even off Nadir if you want to grab Fleur. Super good card, and it's a dragon in the grave, so why not? Alright, we've got Elder Entity Natis. I don't have to talk about this card. You guys know why this card sees play. It says pop, and we like that. We do like that. Alright, the last engine in this extra deck, Linkuriboh. Now, you can obviously make this off Magician Souls, but 90% of the time, you're going to be making this off the Sky Striker Hornet drones. And what I mean by that is, the standard combo of the Sky Striker engine is linking into Kagari, and Kagari is going to add you back drones. Then you're going to link into Kana, and Kana is going to gain 100 life points when you play that drones again. And she also gives you the downwards arrow. And that downwards arrow is where you're going to link your Linkuriboh in. So then you can link these two into an Anaconda. Yeah, I really like these cards, and I'm going to keep playing the Striker engine for as long as I can. If Anaconda goes, the Striker engine goes, though. That's kind of unfortunate, but that'll just be how it be. Probably wouldn't change too much here, besides adding Selene and Access Code. They're the cards I really need. I'm waiting for Access Code in the mail. I thoroughly enjoyed this extra deck, so yeah, give it a shot, see what you think. Alright, the side decks. Side decks aren't that relevant. They're normally format specific or local specific, so you know what? Take these with a grain of salt always. And you know I'm playing it. You know I'm playing it. The magic formula, baby. I'm going to use this to win in time one day. I still haven't, but it's getting sighted in every now and then, but we're not seeing it, or the time's just not quite come up. But that's okay. It'll happen one day. Now for the actual good cards. Dino Wrestler Pankratops. Absolutely amazing one of. You can play that bad boy. The only conflict is, if you have Ref in hand, obviously you can't use it. Well, you can't use both is what I'm trying to say. Happy's Feather Duster, however. Very good card. Blowout card. Wins you games. Very nice. It baits a negate, or you get the fat wins, so we love to see it. Another blowout slash removal slash bait and negate card, evenly matched. I thought it would be really good this format because a lot of people are playing Imperial Order and Anti-Spell Fragrance, so this kind of plays around that. But you could just play Lightning Storm or something similar. I think this card's biggest problem is they get to keep a card on their field and they get to pick, and it's normally going to be like their Phoenix Enforcer or their own Dragoon or their Zeus, or just something really annoying that is hard to deal with anyway. So, I don't know, while I do like that evenly helped me out a couple of games, it also just sat in the hand some games and didn't really do too much. Might look into replacing it. It normally does me good, but I don't know, this tournament not so much. Triple Gozen. Now this was interesting because I don't think I saw it once the whole tournament. No, I didn't. Every time I sighted it in, I just didn't see it. But the idea is it beats Sword Soul and it beats Flunder. It doesn't beat Flunder, but it does mean they cannot really get their engine going because they need to normal summon Wind and Water Birds, and this means they can only go into one of them. If they can get into M-Pen, we lose, however, because it outs Dragoon. So this is really just trying to lock them into their Water Birds, since, oh no, their Wind Birds, since I think M-Pen should be a water, right? It's a penguin. There's a chance it's a win, though. I also went for Droll and Lockbird. I thought it would be really good against Flunder because they search so much. And unfortunately, in one of my matchups against Ben from Nolan TCG, I did droll him after he used Duality, and unfortunately, he still had a way to get 2 tributes and to the M-Pen, so I did lose that game. But I do think Droll is still a very good hand trap. The last hand trap, and probably the best one of the day, this one definitely won me a lot of my games. It's gotta be your boy Lancia. There's nothing special about this one, there's common. I really rate artifacts in Dark Magician. And the reason for that is they can go in the spell trap zone if you need them to, which is fine because you can send them for draws if you really want to. Like, obviously, you don't have to, and half the time, if you have them, you've sided them in for a reason and you're going to be playing them. But it is nice that you can just do some crazy stuff with them with Dark Magician Engine. If you take anything from this side deck, it's definitely side Lancia. I know my locals is full of Invoked as well, and this card, using this after they've used Invocation is absolutely killer as well. So yeah, please guys, this card is just going to be really good this next format. I'm feeling it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Don't forget to summon your Dragoons and go pop pop. Thanks for watching my deck profile, guys. I'm going to be playing Dragoon and the Dark Magician deck for a while, so I'm going to keep trying to find new ways to do it. So hit me up in the comments if you have any suggestions. And anyway, thanks for watching. See ya.